What you're going to watch is a short clip of our 1 hour full podcast. What we have done is we have picked up one small topic of interest so that you can just focus on that particular topic. But you can still watch the full podcast at the screen. A link is given. Let's talk a little bit more about the role of a product manager, but with specific details of the product management lifecycle. So let's talk about various stages of product management lifecycle and what role does product manager play at each stage.
Sure. So each product has some sort of product vision, right? Vision is sort of an aspirational goal where your product, it sort of rallies your entire team towards to build towards. It's something that you aspire to be, your product to be, and it involves lots of market research, understanding customer pain points. As a product manager, you need to interview, understand market trends, to define a product vision which is unique, different from the market as well, different from the competition as well. So the product vision is obviously your guiding principle. It also the product vision informs your downstream activities also, right? Like everything from what you are investing in, what are the resources that you need to hire, the projects that you need to deliver on, all that comes from your vision. The next step is about defining a coherent product strategy. So that is basically a detailed plan of how are you going to deliver on your product vision, what are the different goals you plan to achieve in, right? So to give an example, let's say food delivery is pretty popular today, and let's say we plan to launch a new food delivery app. So a product vision for that such an app would be to make discovery of the city's most tastiest budget friendly food at the tap of a button, anytime, anywhere, something like that, right? So that's aspirational. It sort of gives you an North Star in terms of what you want to achieve, and also talks about a business objective that you want to sort of service a particular city's market, and you want to bring together food joints and people of the city to sort of deliver on great service. So that's one part of it. So now that you've defined a product strategy, what the next part is obviously actualizing that. So you do a road mapping part of it. So defining the product roadmap. So roadmap is about the different ideas that you're actually going to deliver on, the different projects that you're going to build with some sort of time horizon in the picture. Some organizations adopt a now, next, later kind of road mapping, especially for small organizations and places where the market volatility is a lot. But yeah, the idea of the road mapping is that you sort of evangelize your roadmap towards different parts of the organizations like marketing, sales, because their plans are also dependent on your product roadmap. They need to have their own marketing plans, sales plans. So it's really important to have a product roadmap in place, and you evangelize that with different stakeholders. The next part is about the development process. So your product development process in terms of what is the different iterations or the way you develop on the products. And that is more operational in nature, obviously, your day-to-day interactions with various development teams, with UX, with even sales, with customer success. So that's part of product management as well, because you actually need to ensure that the product that is being built is on good quality and is actually meeting user needs. And then comes the launch, right? Once you've defined or you're ready to launch, there are lots of launch activities you need to do. So you can do a beta phase kind of a launch, you can do a full-fledged launch. There are different stages that approaches you can adopt. Along with launch, you also need to train various personnel, like your customer success needs to know how to use the new features, your marketing needs to build marketing collateral. So you as a product manager also help in such activities. And obviously, once you defined your launch, your go-to-market strategy, there's a post-launch activities as well, right? Because once, as part of your strategy, you have defined certain goals, like on which you want to deliver on. Once you deliver such features and products, you need to measure continuously, right, whether you are meeting your goals or not. So if you are not meeting, then you need to probably optimize, talk to your customer, provide increments on that, or maybe you've reached your metrics. So you need to know when to stop, and metrics is, I think, an underlying thing which is across all of these different stages. And also I would say feedback loops. So in this process, you need to have feedback loops within to validate that you're not far along the process and building something which the customer doesn't want. So each of these requires some sort of feedback loops, and as product managers, you need to ensure that these feedback loops are working. For example, sprint demos is one good example, right? With demos, you know whether what you're incrementing is actually valuable or not. Prototyping is earlier in the phase is another example. So such feedback loops really help validate whether what you're building is helpful to the user or not.
So I have a follow-up question on that. In fact, two questions related to this. So is product management a role which is on the IT company side, the vendor side, or on the client side? That is one. Or it could be either side. Number two, is product development or the management we are talking about, is it specific to IT industry or it can be anywhere else?
Okay, so I'll answer your second question first, because I would say a product by its definition is something that meets customer needs, right? So it can be a software product, it can be a service, it can be multiple things. It's not about just software; it can be a hardware product as well. For example, when I did my MBA internship for a pharma company, there were product managers for pharma drugs, and their job was to ensure that the products that were launched were marketed well, they had good sales channels, those kinds of things. Companies like Nike also have product managers. And what you've also been seeing is that recently lots of like non-tech goods, they have started rolling out digital products. So example, I currently I'm working for Pepsi, and they have their own loyalty management programs, and they have apps where users can interact with such programs, get rewards and all, right? So that is sort of an extension to their overall loyalty strategy. Also, for example, my electric toothpaste has its own app, air fryer has its own app. So it's not necessary that a product can needs to be in isolation. There can be multiple offerings, multiple products. There can be software products as well as hardware products. And in relation to your earlier question on whether it needs to be on the client side or the vendor side, what I would say is that product management needs to be collaborative. Like we talked about the problem space and solution space. Yes, the building part of it definitely happens at the vendor space because those capabilities don't have. But unless you have those feedback loops, unless you have those client interactions, that is where the essence of the product and the core value proposition of the product is being built. So it's a collaborative process. The problem space is obviously for defining all your needs, and your solutions is where the actual product gets built.